Hello students, how are you? I hope you all will be well, relaxing at your home and also keeping good health. I wish that you all students may keep your health in a proper manner, and to keep the health in proper manner, please avoid going outside as far as possible. If it is urgent or you cannot avoid it, then please wear a mask and try to keep social distance. You know that we all are suffering from COVID-19 disease. We have to be alert to keep ourselves protected. So only the schools are closed. We hope that this problem is solved as early as possible and we meet live. Today, the chapter which we are going to study also is related to a problem and a challenge again. We are trying to highlight chapter number 17, economic problems and challenges, poverty and unemployment. Our country India, right from independence, was suffering or experiencing many serious as well as complex problems, which included both economic problems also and social problems also, like population growth, price rise, black money, poverty, unemployment, starvation, corruption, terrorism, etc. etc. Among all these problems, some economic problems are considered as major problems, which include problems like poverty, unemployment, price rise, population increase. So, in this chapter, we will be giving more stress to two problems which are being faced by our country or we are facing today also, and what challenges also we are facing with related to poverty and unemployment. To understand poverty, first of all, we must know that who can be called a poor. Well, the economic definition very clearly says that in our country, a large number of people who are deprived of satisfying their basic and essential requirements of life like food, clothing and shelter, roti, kapla or makan, including education and health services, then in this situation the people living in this condition of the society can be called poor. Now, to fight against poverty, we will have to demarcate a line. So we have to find out which are the people who live below poverty line. Now, this poverty concept is a qualitative concept. In India, our country, poverty is looked or viewed as the lowest level of life. So the common feature of the people who live below poverty line are as follows. Who can be called a poor or a person living below poverty line? Then first, the person who is not able to get 2 meals a day is a person who lives below poverty line. Also, people who is suffering from problem of unavailability of dwelling place, house, is also living below poverty line. Person who is forced to live in shabby or slum area is also a person living below poverty line. A person whose income is less than determined expected income also is a person who is living below poverty line. The people, those who are living below poverty line, their lifespan is less than the national average life expectancy. The people living below poverty line are usually or generally illiterate. The people who are living below poverty line are always suffering from various diseases due to lack of nutritious food. In the family of the below poverty line family, the children have to take the responsibility of looking after their family at the age when they are supposed to study. That family also can be called a family living below poverty line. The death rate is very high due to malnutrition in the group of below poverty line people. So the government of India has made efforts to improve the standard of living of these people who are living below poverty line. Income of the people who are living below poverty line is very less in cities, also in villages, and this type of families are known as Antyodaya family or families living below poverty line or BPL. After finding out this type of families, the government has started public distribution system on the basis of the ration card, and the shops where these things are sold are known as fair price shop. Every month they fulfill the requirements of the people living below poverty line like rice, wheat, sugar, oil, salt and kerosene. They supply to the families who are living below poverty line. By applying this method, the government is trying to raise their living standard. Now, how did this concept of poverty come into existence? Well, it was first propounded by the director of WHO, World Health Organization. For calculating poverty line, there are certain factors with the help of which we can come to know about the poverty level, and they include the family's expenditure on food, on clothing, on accommodation, on education, on health, on providing clean drinking water, electricity, sanitation facilities, transportation facilities, and income as well as the intake of calories. Please underline all these points are enough to calculate whether the family is living below poverty line or not. On the basis of these factors only, a particular standard of living of the person or family is fixed, and it is known as poverty line. The concept, the theory of poverty line is changing according to time, according to the location, and according to the circumstances. How can we measure poverty? Well, there are two ways to know the number of people living below poverty line. First is on the basis of expenditure behind various commodities or services by a family. That means how much money the family is spending behind or on various commodities or services. That is the first criteria. Second criteria, on the basis of the total income of the family, and here we must know that family means a group of minimum 5 members. We have absolute poverty, and we have relative poverty. The group of people of the society who are not able to purchase the basic necessities of life like roti, kapda or makan, food, grains, pulses, milk, vegetables at even lowest market rate, then they are said to be complete or absolute poor. Relative poverty. In society, we come across different groups of people whose incomes also are different. Compared to one group, other group's income may be more or it can be less also. So, the group which has less income can be considered as a relative poor group, and this concept is more prevalent in developed countries. We are given one example that a family is able to earn the income of 10,000 rupees, B family 20,000 and C family 30,000. Now the income of A family is less in relation to B family. That means A is considered to be poor than B. In the same way, the income of A and B also is less compared to C. So A and B both are poor. So this is how we can compare and have relative poverty concept clear. We will have to come across about poverty in our country India. Let us see some figures. In order to decide poverty line, in the year 2011 and 12, a Planning Commission of India organization declared per capita expenditure for rural areas as rupees 816, which means rupees 4080 per family expenditure, and for urban area per capita expenditure was fixed at rupees 1000 per person at least, and so the family expenditure was declared to be at least 5000. We already saw that in family there can be minimum 5 members. So if 816 is the per head expenditure, per person expenditure in the rural area, village area, if you multiply by 5, it comes to 4080. At least that much income should be earned by the person in the rural area. Then he is also termed as poor person. And for urban areas, it was 1000 per person. So 5 members, 5000. This very clearly means that a family should have at least this much per capita income to meet about their expenditure. If they are not able to meet, then they are called to be poor. On the basis of the new criteria, now the number of poor has reduced to 27 crore and the rate of poverty also reduced to 21.9%. In 2009 and 10, ratio of poverty in relation to population of India was 29.8%. That means we are trying to achieve the ratio. That means we are trying to reduce the number of poor families in India. So we can say approximately 35.47 crore people in India were living below poverty line. In order to see that there is equality prevailing at international level, the World Bank has decided per capita income as 1.90 US dollar in the year 2012 as per the rate of 2008. According to one report of World Bank, India's total population was approximately 121 crore in the year 2010, out of which 32.7% people were living below poverty line, and the figure is 45.6 crore. As per the report of UNDP, United Nations Development Program 2015, Ratio of poverty in India in 2011 and 12 was 21.92%. It means that out of total poor, that is 26.93 crores, 21.65 crore people were living in the rural area. So people in rural area, 21.65 crore were poor, that is 25% percentage, and only 5.28 crore people in urban area were under poverty line. Please underline the states. Chhattisgarh, 36.93% is the poorest state of India. This can be asked as a blank. We are going to face our second unit test, and please see that this can be asked as a blank now also in board exam also. Even Goa also with 5.09 has the lowest poverty rate. In Gujarat, the proportion of the poverty is 16.63%. Chhattisgarh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Orissa, etc. have more than 30% population of poverty in India. Our country India is bestowed with natural resources in large quantity, and so we are very prosperous in providing or in having natural raw material. But because of the lack of ability to make worthy profit from this, lack of education, lack of training and skill, our planning is defective. Since years, these natural resources have not been utilized to their best possible extent for the welfare of people, and so only the proportion of poverty has not reduced. So it is said that poor live in wealthy India. Please underline. Now, who can be called a rural poor and who can be called a urban poor? Please underline. Landless laborers, farm laborers, artisans or workers of the cotton industries or small scale industries, marginal farmers who can only produce the food grains for their own family members and not for others, beggars, forced laborers, inhabitants living in the forest or mountainous region, tribals, temporary craftsmen are all in the category of rural poor. Urban poor, temporary laborers, laborers who are working on daily wages, domestic workers, rickshawalas, workers in tea stall or hotels or dhabas, workers working in garage, beggars or who are not able to satisfy their minimum and basic necessities and live in poverty are also considered to be urban poor. Now, we will have to discuss that what are the reasons of poverty in India. Well, the origin of poverty is more deep rooted in villages, rural areas as compared to urban areas. So in villages more poor people are living, and in cities or urban areas less poor people are living. The reasons are as follows. First, there is decrease in the income from agriculture sector because of insufficient development in the field of agriculture and insufficient irrigation facilities. There is lack of alternative employment apart from farming. The illiterate person can only do laborious work and not other, and there is shortage of this type of work. Except farming, there is no other work which can be done in the villages. So these people are suffering of the alternative employment. Then lack of knowledge regarding other employment, education, skill or training in the rural area. traditions and customs. Increase in debt as a result of excessive expenditure because of the caste system, orthodoxy, traditions and customs. Thus, it is said that due to increase in unproductive expenditure also people are suffering. When a person dies in family or there is marriage occasion, people have to spend more just to show to the society, and this is unproductive expenses. There is no production and there is expenditure, so people are spending more, and that's why they become more and more poor. Due to illiteracy, the poor are becoming the victim of exploitation also, and even injustice. Along with that, they are not able to get proper benefit of the government schemes because of the lack of information. Due to ignoring necessities and economic welfare of the poorest section of the society during formation of economic policies, production of the cash crops was encouraged while production of the edible crops was reduced. This triggered the scarcity of the food grains and policies and price rise, because of which people could not get 2 square meals a day. Because of execution of economic reforms, rural economy collapsed. Cottage and small scale industries broke down. Migration increased. Income in agriculture sector decreased. Poor people are becoming victims of malnutrition and disease. Expenditure on health increased, although income was static, not changing, but expenditure on medicines increased. Due to the change in the technology, traditional business, cottage industries, etc., were deteriorated, and unemployment have increased. People became more and more unemployed, and so they became poor. There was increase in population growth, death rate decreased, average lifespan increased, supply of labor increased compared to demand of labor, and so there is unemployment which increases. On the other side, the production of the things of basic requirement also decreased. There was price rise, there was downfall in purchase power, living standard deteriorated due to this, and so poverty increased. By this can be asked as a 2 marks or 3 marks question. Please note down what are the reasons of poverty. Now, strategy or policy for poverty eradication. The vicious cycle of poverty is increasing its grip on the society and the country. Reasons for it have been understood in short on the earlier part. On the basis of this, we can easily say and we can easily understand that which type of strategy or policy should be adopted to remove poverty. Right from our independence till date, 11 5-year plans have been completed. Till then, neglection of the rural areas in strategy for development of Indian economy and work plan is found mainly responsible for poverty. Golden pinnacle of Indian economy may be there in urban areas, but the base lies in the rural areas. Maximum people are living in villages. No doubt, there is a change in the lifestyle of the people of the cities, but villages are still suffering from the problem of poverty and unemployment. These villages only are the heart of the Indian economy, and so in order to keep them alive as well as prosperous, a large part of budget should have been spent after them, what we did not do. Actual economic development, social development and cultural development of India is only possible if the villages are developing. If they do not develop, then there is no development whether in economic field or social field or cultural field. By the program Gramodaya se Bharat Uday, present government has implemented the basic idea that upliftment of the country is possible only through the upliftment of villages. The central government and state government have emphasizing on implementation of new plans and programs for removal of poverty. For this, stress has been laid on improvement of basic needs like development of agriculture sector and cottage, small scale industries, etc. If opportunities for employment will be created, a flow of income will increase and poverty will decrease.